A central Minnesota police officer is getting national attention for sharing a very personal battle in a very public way. He is one of the 350 to 450,000 children and adults in the United States with Tourette Syndrome. The neurological disorder causes sudden, uncontrollable tics. Many cases go undiagnosed. David Begnaud is raising awareness by sharing his own experiences in this report.
It's kind of hard to explain, but...
In this New York City exam room, the patient, Craig Elgin, is here because he has Tourette Syndrome. Watch what happens when he talks.
Other than having to tell people I have, Tourette Syndrome.
Okay.
His condition is evident by those uncontrollable interruptions called tics.
I got toe tics, I got leg stretching tic, hand stretching, wrists, arm stretch. I got the huff, the sniff, the laughing tic, hard blinking, throat clearing, face grimace.
Like if you tried right now to stop what you're doing, could you?
I really have to focus.
Tourette syndrome has long been an easy target, disrespected in pop culture. That just leads to misconceptions, says Dr. Juhi Jimenez-Shahed, the neurologist who is treating Craig Elgin at Mount Sinai Health System.
What are some of the most common misconceptions about Tourette's?
Things like, why can't you hold it in? So it must be something that you're doing on purpose. The misperception that it's all about swearing and, doing inappropriate behaviors, which may affect some individuals with tics and Tourette's, but not everybody.
Even with persistent symptoms, Craig Elgin, at 37 years old, functions pretty normally. He's a police officer with the Malacca, Minnesota Police Department.
It doesn't inhibit anything that I do. I mean, there are times where, like everyone, you get a little self-conscious about it, and you're just like, I shouldn't do that just because of my tics.
It looks tiring.
You get used to it.
Really?
Yeah, like online, that's like one of the top 3 questions I get asked the most.
Off-duty and online, Elgin has brought together more than 150,000 people on social media. That's where he's known as Tourette's Cop. That's how I found him. I was diagnosed with Tourette's at the age of 6.
I feel like we know each other.
I know, absolutely.
I have a mild case of Tourette's. I have nose tics, a tongue tic, neck tics. Stress often induces them, and so does just talking about it. Meeting other people who have Tourette syndrome is invaluable to better understanding this complex neurological disorder.
Like I kind of use social media as like my therapy. Like I'm able to talk about it, I'm able to open up about it. It's like, it's completely okay to have Tourette syndrome. You can still be normal and make noises.
What causes Tourette's?
Hard question to answer. We know that there's probably a strong genetic component. There's some new research coming out that relates to environmental exposures, so things maybe that happened with the individual's mother perhaps during pregnancy, other psychosocial features that might influence the manifestation. So it's a very complex disorder in that sense.
The media has helped to destigmatize the condition. In recent years, there have been good conversations about Tourette's. But for people like Craig Elgin, even without the stigma, there is still suffering. In fact, the day after we interviewed him, while our team was still with him, he left the interview and drove to an emergency room. In the days before we met him, he was sleeping less than an hour a night. It had become too much to bear. And so we watched as he walked himself into a hospital, asking for help. I'm David Begnaud, CBS News for WCCO 4 News.